Hello, Pisces, or more specifically, those of you born on the Pisces Aries cusp. I want to wish you all very well. I want to wish you all in the best of your journeys. And I want to take time to thank you for the patience. I know these November cusp readings are a little bit late. So what we're doing here is I'm going to give you a reading that will be from now until the end of the Gregorian calendar, till the end of 2017. A 6-week shot here so that you guys can set some intentions and hopefully we can reveal some hidden messages and clear up some stuck energies for you guys. As always, it's a pleasure to read your cards. The format for the cusps here, Pisces is going to be on the left, Aries is going to be on the right. We're going to draw a card for each out of this Dreams of Gaia tarot, and then we're going to pull some regular tarot and some Lenormand for clarifiers. Okay, first card up. And this is for you guys on the Pisces side. It's something to do with destiny. I feel that you guys have been moving through situations and relationships at this time, and certain relationships and situations may be coming to a close, or you may have put a lot of things to bed in regards to where you were focusing your efforts as to where you want to be focusing your efforts. Because we have this card of destiny, this feels like the journey has begun, or the journey has shifted. You've reached, I feel, a proverbial fork in the road. You have effectively chosen, and now the destiny card is here to present yourself with, okay, now what do we do to gather our tools? What do we do to make sure the steps that we are taking in alignment with what we have recently decided needs to hold true for ourselves? It's very similar to the Magician card in the traditional tarot, this destiny card, where it's like the resources, see the mental tools, the mind constructs are all very much established and ordered, and they are strong enough and dynamic enough for you to take forward movement and to make forward steps towards your dreams, your goals, your successes at this time. So the card of destiny is very good to see up here in the late degrees of Pisces. It is supportive energy from source. And again, I feel it is because it, like, you guys have recently pulled through something or closed the door on something that has been very beneficial for you. And this wisdom card has come up for you here on the Aries side, early degrees of Aries. And this thing's been popping up because, like, traditionally, as we come up into the solstice, we have more of a reflective time. We have more of a time where we gather in experiences from the past year and from the entire life that we have lived up until this point, and we become very reflective. And this traditionally happens on both the conscious and the subconscious levels at this time, just due to, like, a collective consciousness where it's like, you know, we get slammed with, like, advertising and stuff, and they try and take away from this with what we do, where this time of winter solstice is meant for us to come into our sacred space, to gather around with us the people we share our love with, and to gather our thoughts and to gather our mindset for where we choose to go on this destiny, right? For what we've chosen for ourselves. So I don't feel like this is very quick moving energy. This is more about gathering tools. This is more about amalgamating resources, and they're more like mental resources. It's like, what do you know how to do? What can you do to make this happen for yourself? There is a hint that you will be less reliant on other people through this time, and that you will be sort of a centerpiece for your own intellectual manifestations. And what I mean by that, it's kind of like you will be putting the pen to paper, I feel, and it goes much deeper than just New Year's resolutions and things of that nature. This is more about deciding who you want to become, or if we go 1 year into the future, to rewind and say, okay, these are the accomplishments that I feel that I can have, that I can do. And these are the things that these smaller accomplishments can lead to the bigger ones. So you're almost like building a metaphorical staircase for yourself, where it's like you're moving a step up each and every time. But before so, in comes the thought of how do we do that with a lot of structure, a lot of sound, and a strong foundation, okay? So destiny and wisdom are great complementary cards. I feel it's kind of like a more of a slow-moving energy around you, and I feel like it is a reflective time for you with positive progression in regards to mental planning of the future. So if you've got a project, if you've got a goal in mind, these are the times where it's like you need to do the literal planning, outlining, writing of things down, contacting people, things of that nature to make this stuff happen for you. It's kind of like, well, if you don't do it, it's not going to get done sort of thing, right? And wisdom tells you this very much so. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. It doesn't have to happen super fast, but you do need to start laying the groundwork, the foundation for these things so that it can be made manifest. You're born on such a strong cusp, you guys, because you have the entrepreneurial grace of Pisces combined with the self-management skills of an Aries, that you guys can make manifest anything. But it's almost like universe and source doesn't make it easy for you because you have been born at this time with these gifts. Source says, all right, well, I need you to prove that you can put these gifts to work from a very subtle ground level so that at no point in time can somebody else come and say, you know what, you couldn't have done it without me? Because at the end of the day, that's not going to be true. It's like you couldn't have done it without you kind of thing, kind of attitude, right? So that's the feeling I get from these two cards. They're very powerful, but they are calling you to subtle and to start acting on something, to start getting the wheels in motion, so to speak, okay? Let's have a look at tarot. We've got a Page of Cups combined up here coming from the late Pisces degrees. And this is pretty typical, right? This is kind of like, how am I feeling about this? How happy are you with self? And normally we see this with a Page of Wands, but sometimes the Page of Cups can carry certain things with confidence and esteem situations going on, having enough self-love so that you don't put yourself at the other person's control, right? You want to take some power back with this Page of Cups. You want to be full understanding that sometimes we have to put these emotional things, if they're detracting from us too much, we have to put them up on a shelf for a little while. We have to set them aside. And we can tell people, through our days, and they may say like, okay, well, why are you being so selfish at this time? Well, it's like, I'm not really being selfish. I'm just saying that I can't go to these depths right now. I have to be a little bit more practical. I have to feel as though I have a certain amount of oomph in my steps, so to speak, or control in the nitty-gritty, the everyday things that go on. It's like when people go with the flow, sometimes there's a tendency to go too much with the flow, right? Where it's like, wow, now like we don't know our plans from day to day and we're waiting to hear back from so-and-so. And if so-and-so doesn't come through, then oh my God, like what a waste of time. We want to make sure that our calendars aren't being affected too much and our emotions aren't being too much affected by the calendar of others and the preset plan of others. The Page of Cups comes with that message today. All right. In the middle, a Nine of Pentacles, okay? And if you are single at this time, for those of you born on the cusp, it's like you are very loving people and you are very deserving of relationships. And if you don't have one at this time, it may be a very difficult time. You may be one of the people that feel it worse at Christmas, where it's like, oh, maybe you didn't find somebody in 2017. And it's like some days it's a little tougher than others. And then other days you're super grateful that you're single, and those sort of situations, or relationships where like things may be so busy it almost feels like you're more of a business partner than a lover at sometimes, based on what's going on here. The Nine of Pentacles is just saying, don't worry. Trust in that which you know to be true. Rely on your wisdom and rely on your abilities to be that top of the pyramid, that pinnacle of success that is you. The Nine of Pentacles can kind of really move you through this change that we see with the Destiny card, and make sure these things that you are putting to bed, that you are absolutely doing it. Then look at these cards. I almost feel like these people are saying goodbye. She's saying goodbye to the little fishy. She loves the little fishy, but I don't really have time for little fishy right now. And she's almost saying like, goodbye to this little birdie, or allowing this birdie to go free, knowing the bird might come back or it might not. And she's going to be okay one way or the other, because she's done enough for herself to to securely move forward and close these doors on these certain things, right? And I said she a lot, but it doesn't have to be gender specific, right? That sort of thing. But these are very feminine cards that are coming up with the cups and the pentacles that are here. It's a very, it could be a very emotional time for you, but more so when you allow it to be so. You're kind of like picking your time and space so that, you know, you are expressing your emotions, you are feeling happy in who you are. I just want to make sure that you are not entering any kind of like lulls of like, being forlorn over being single or alone. It's like, feel the gratitude that you have moved forward rather than, oh my goodness, now I have nothing because I closed the door on this. Be happy that you closed that door and happy that you move forward. And so that, you know, the wisdom can shine through and allow it to be wisdom for the future rather than regret for the past, okay? Oh, and because we've got a really nice card here and an Ace of Wands coming up from the Aries side. So, you know, it's there if you want it. If you need cuddle time, if you need playtime with somebody, you know it's there. It doesn't mean that it's forever. You can go share good times with somebody, and you can bring creative endeavors to light at this time if you are taking time for self-love. The Ace of Wands is inspiration. The Ace of Wands is the beginning of new creativity. And when we see it cross-referenced with this Destiny card coming over from this side, the feeling I have with this card is that you are going to begin on a new project, or you are going to begin on those solid foundations we talked about and are going to start doing this work. And for a lot of you, this simply means pen to paper, or breaking out the old cycles, breaking through the old routines so that you are very conscious when they try and creep up back again. You're like, nope, now I have this beacon of inspiration. I have this beacon of understanding. I have this beacon of truth that is my new talisman that I do want to follow. And you can wave it like a magic wand almost and like beat back the things that try to come back and to creep back in, because we all have those. And the wisdom is going to dictate what those are and what is serving you at this time, right? At risk of sounding cliche. But it's very true. It's like you are actively swinging that Ace of Wands in front of you and behind you to clear a stronger and more solid path for yourself so that your foundation remains stable and it remains progressive, okay? It's a 9 to a 1. It's very good cards there when we kind of see tarot laid like that. 9 is the highest degree of change, and the 1 is always like, it's where it always starts. That's where it always begins. So bigger chapters closing for a lot of you and new ones beginning. Wherever you are at that path over the next 6 weeks, just make sure you're putting in the work and just make sure you're not getting sidetracked, okay? That sort of thing. Because it's almost like Source is saying, it's like we gotta do it now, because it's like 2018 is gonna be on us so fast, and we all know how quickly time moves. Why wait another day, right? Why waste another day? All right, here we go. The dawn of a new day, right? And the nesting situation that's gone on here. And that's fine. This is really good, because I feel like harmoniously you can, and some of you, this might be a situation where you have had a child with somebody who their intentions may not be very clear, or you may have decided that you've closed the door. And I don't mean to get political or anything, or based on anyone's like liberties and choices and things like that. But if you've made these decisions regarding unborn children, or even children that have been born, and about the steps you're going to take in your life, just know that the resiliency is going to be there. As long as you don't conflict it with your own mixed up emotions in this situation, you need to move forward with confidence and courage at this time. And for some of you, I feel that you will be nesting. The slow moving energy, you will just be more apt to do these creative endeavors in the home, with the people that are closest in your life, and that sort of thing. Now, we've got a lot of birds up here in this situation. We've got an eagle now, we've got the bird here, and some here. So some of you could be flying, you could be long flights to see family, things of that nature. And some of you are just in a situation where spiritually you're trying to rise above the muck and the mire, so it's not so downtrodden for you on a daily level. So I would encourage you, through dreams, through meditation, and through affirmations, that you guys could go ahead and take the time you need to feel your spirit flying far away, moving far away, and yet coming back to you kind of like at your whim, so that the destiny is in clear sight, and today is more conducive to you getting there rather than feeling like an obstacle that you have to overcome to get there. Okay, that's kind of what I'm driving at here. And yeah, some of you will be flying to see family, and some of you will be traveling long distances family, and others of you will be returning to a place where at one point you put some root down. This could be a very nostalgic energy surrounding you guys this Christmas. You guys will be very caught up in the spirit, I feel. You'll be very... you'll be feeling the meaningfulness of the holiday and of this time for yourself and the people around you. There's a lot of harmony coming. I feel like people kind of like gathered around the fireplace and the piano and like all of those, like sort of the very cliche. Look, more birds, they're hiding up there in the tree. You see them there? So there's communication and there's movement and flight. There's slow moving energy, but some travel is going to be required and a lot of communication is happening. There could be some family issues that are being disclosed to you or resolved out for you during this holiday season as well. Okay, and let's see what we've got for clarity on this Ace of Wands. Okay, yeah, so some of you are really caught where it's like you're really deciding like what this destiny is meant to look like. Or if you're not like opposed to like fatalistic things, you realize that it's always dynamic. You're trying to clear the fogginess, the cloudiness out of your mind's eye, so to speak, so that you can see the direction that you want to go. And it has to be unique and profound. Otherwise, you're over it. You don't even like it. If somebody's already done it before, even though it might not be very good, it's like you're not kind of the type, I feel, that wants to just improve upon somebody else's work and then say, hey, it's like this has to be absolutely new. This has to be ground that has not been broken before. This has to be an area of thought, an area of creation that nobody has even touched with a 10-foot pole yet or thought of getting into. And you guys will break the code. You'll crack the code because you've got the wisdom to do it. Just make sure that you don't get too frustrated when trying to do it. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the uncertainty like, I'm never going to figure it out. Or maybe some of you are inventors. Some of you are like really profound creators and you're just waiting for this inspirational breakthrough. The moon card, to clarify this Ace of Wands, is saying we have to go very deep in through our meditations, our dream cycles, and even out into nature in our soul searching so that we can find this area where nobody's been to. It's like this exploration, a metaphorical exploration. Well, I guess it's literal, but it's more in an intangible sense so that you're bringing something new into the world. For some of you, that's a baby. For others of you, it's a thought form that is still very subtle where you invent it, you create it, you make it known, and you are now that which you have brought, that thought form that you have manifest and made into the world. So good energies. You guys are at the precipice of some great big breakthroughs, and it's because destiny and wisdom are working on your side through this time. Just allow your days to be conducive to that rather than obstacles, and that is done through your own appreciation, sense of self-love, esteem, and spiritual inner work. Okay? All right, love you all, and we'll see you next time.